Hello everybody, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am trying to figure out what we are going to be doing for vocabulary on grade 4 next school year. I know that we get a little bit of vocabulary with some of our book studies through Lit House Learning, and we have some vocabulary in Moving Beyond the Page and some of the history and such, but I wanted to get a little bit more in-depth into vocabulary, and I have a few options and I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to narrow these down to. It could be more than one, but I was going to walk you through some of my options, and if anybody has any different ideas, or if you have one of these ones that I'm sharing, had experience in any of those and want to provide any feedback for me, I would love that. So leave a comment down below. So one of the first options is word roots. This would just be the very first one from the Critical Thinking Company. And this goes into a lot of Latin root words. So there's root words, prefixes, and suffixes. So it'll help to gain more vocabulary with only knowing a few of the root words. These are the lessons and the prefixes, roots, and suffixes that will be in the beginning level. And then within each section, there are the ones that they have for this specific lesson, and then they have different activities following just the samples, the prefixes, roots, and suffixes for that one. So for instance, in lesson 13, we have some root words, we have the prefixes and suffixes, and then they have the combinations of them for that. The next one is from Evan Moore, Vocabulary Fundamentals. So we used some of grade 3 this year. And this does go into some root words, but then it has different sections within the vocabulary areas. So homophones, homographs, prefixes, suffixes, and roots, similar to the Critical Thinking Company one, and then some other activities. So I'm not sure. This one is a very long book though, so it'd be very extensive if we were to work through the whole thing. Then we have Scholastic vocabulary packets for grades 4 to 6. These are Greek and Latin roots, similar to some of the other ones. These are all of the ones that would be covering in this one. And then for each of these units, they have listed at the top the ones you'll be covering, and then there'll be a few activities in each of the units to cover just the root words that are listed for that unit. And lastly, I have from Scholastic the daily word ladders. So this one would be a combination of spelling, vocabulary, some trivia as well. And in there, you start with the word at the bottom, and then it gives you some key information and then tells you how many letters to either add or subtract. And then you follow that up the word ladder till you get to the top. And so that would be some vocabulary with understanding what the definition is or the description that's provided here, and then also helps with spelling by adding or subtracting different letters from words that you had below. So those are some of the ones that I have for now that I've been looking at. If you guys have any other ideas or suggestions for vocabulary now that we're getting into higher levels of elementary, can you please give me any feedback below? I would appreciate it. And thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.